recent increase in girls' and women's physical activity have occurred at most levels and in most types of participation. For example, the position of coaching, such as well-known NCAA basketball coach Pat Summitt, who has the highest winning record in NCAA basketball history in both men and women. In addition, she has been inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame and been named Coach of the Year twice by Sports Illustrated. Although Pat is well known and respected in her sport, she is, however, a one-of-a-kind. The main problem that women face within sport is the professional side of it. Professional sport is dominated and controlled by men, through the media to the players themselves. There is very little impact from female athletes. With golf and tennis being the only two female sport leagues that are aired consistently on television, they are in no way in comparison to the success of men's sports. In addition, when it comes to paid athletes, men dominate that as well. According to Forbes' list of 2010-2011, the top 50 highest paid athletes, the top 5 men leading the sports world were: at number 1 is Tiger Woods, making $75 million. 2, Kobe Bryant with $53 million. 3, LeBron James with $48 million. 4, Roger Federer with $47 million. And 5, Phil Mickelson with $46.5 million. So where are the female athletes on this top 50 list, you may ask? Well, at number 29, Maria Sharapova with $24.2 million is the only woman that made it on this list. According to author Laura Robinson, many observers of women's sport believe that no matter what achievements are attained by females, they are still viewed in the context of their physical attractiveness to men. In male sports such as football and basketball, females are seen as members of the crowd, cheering for men due to their high masculinity and looks. According to Susan Kahn, they are seen as gods to female fans. In addition, women would not be interested in sports if it wasn't for men. Also, women are placed in the sexual position at games as cheerleaders, seen as sexual beings there to give male fans something to look at other than sweaty male athletes, because according to David Noland, any aspect of homosexuality in male sport is seen as a huge negative. Therefore, cheerleaders are there as a distraction, but at the same time an eye pleaser. Margaret Costa says that professional female athletes who are in a position to change the stereotypes made about female athletes, such as they are all lesbians or that females are too emotional, are in a way harming the female athlete image. Instead of promoting how strong and athletic they are, female athletes do this.
With the big ass bra and like Bruce Lee, I got the clout, yeah. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. I work out. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. Girl, look at that body. I work out when I walk in the spot. This is what
Danica Patrick is a perfect example of the pink ribbon syndrome. She is the most successful woman in IndyCar racing, being the first woman to ever win an IndyCar series and is the highest ranked woman to ever compete in NASCAR, not to mention that she is competing against men. So being such a huge idol to female athletes everywhere, you would think she was a strong and independent woman, but instead she lowers herself by modeling provocative poses. According to Betsy Ross, she is presenting herself to men in a sexual way so that men do not feel as though they are losing their masculinity by allowing women to dominate a man's sport.
It was so much fun for me the first time around to be able to think that I could do it again and to be in just a cool magazine. People know what to say to me, and especially like in racing with teammates and other drivers and stuff. A guy loves to look at the issue. I'm a girl and I love to look at the issue, so I'm sure the guys do too. I watched a video of, I think they were interviewing Vara, and she said something like, oh, I thought she was a model in the issue, and I was like, that's all I needed to hear.
According to Sharon Guthrie, the media is also harming female athletes. In addition to pushing females to be viewed as sexual people rather than powerful, lowers the respect and seriousness that fans take towards female sports. The Globe and Mail admitted that they and all other Canadian dailies devote approximately 2.8% of the sports section to women's sports. The same can be seen on sports television stations such as TSN and Sportsnet, where they rarely mention female athletes on a daily basis. The only exception where women are mentioned on a daily basis is during the Olympics. Joan O'Reilly says that this is the only time where women are more successful than men and are talked about on television or written about in newspapers more or the same amount as men. In conclusion, even though women have risen up dramatically in the sports world in the 1900s, they are still stuck behind men. With sports being seen as a man's domain, it is easy to understand why men and the media are not giving any leeway for women to catch up to the level of men. Instead, women remain behind men, being forced to sexualize themselves to get noticed by the public. And even though it helps out a little bit, it is also harming female athletes by stereotyping that females are just beautiful bodies to look at and not allowing the society to grow. Now here's comedian Tosh.0's opinions on female athletes in the media.
Okay, here's a joke that's not going to work, but I have to do it. Why? Because there are people out there that will find this funny, and I'm not so selfish that I don't care about them as well. I'm sick of the media making female sports athletes into supermodels when they're clearly sixes at best. I don't need to be told how hot Danica Patrick is. Do you really think she's beautiful? Danica? She's 4'11" and bow-legged. You ever watched her walk to her car? Like, oh, there's nothing hot about her. Maybe it's sexy when her hair's blowing in the wind as she's in last place. Or Maria Sharapova, she's breathtaking. Really? When she was 13 and grunting, I was into it, but now it doesn't do much for me. It's like the Olsen twins, it's just gotten sad.